I'd like to do a quick video here and discuss a topic that will, a vocabulary word that's going to come up quite a lot over the course of this unit, and that is the notion of the second derivative. So it's a super simple notion, but let's just take a quick look at it. So I've got a function here, f of x is equal to x cubed, and so we're used to the derivative of being f prime of x, which is equal to 3x squared. And we might describe that as dy dx. Okay, if we were writing it as y equals x cubed, we would write that as dy dx. So the second derivative is just the derivative of the first derivative. Okay, so to find the derivative of 3x squared, we're just going to use the power rule again, and that would be 6x. And we write the second derivative with 2 primes after the f. All right, so 2 primes means it's the second derivative, which means it's the derivative of the derivative. And if we use the dy dx notation, the vocabulary is a little strange, but let me explain. So we would think of that as the derivative d dx of dy dx. And I don't know if it's some sort of joke or if somebody actually feels this way, but they kind of collect these terms together. And so you'll see the second derivative written as d squared y over dx squared. So this is the notation of the first derivative. And this is the notation of the second derivative. Don't try and make too much out of the fractions of this because, first of all, that's not what these d's actually mean. And second of all, technically, there should be parentheses around the dx, but there isn't. So this is written as d squared y over dx squared. And you can imagine that there is such a thing as a third derivative, which would be the derivative of the second derivative. So if the second derivative was 6x, the third derivative would be just 6. And we might write that as d cubed y over dx cubed. Okay, the third derivative doesn't come up very often. I might talk very briefly in a video about what we might mean by the 17th derivative of a function. That's something that you can calculate, and in calculus 2, if you take calculus 2 or calculus 3 in college, you might be exposed to why that would be an important concept. But for the most part, and especially for this unit, the only ones we're really going to focus on are going to be the first and second derivatives.